right. Dan, how are you this morning, buddy?
I'm doing good, guys. Good morning to you. I hope you guys are well.
Yeah, doing all right. The local football team isn't. You've had a chance to take in the video. You watched it on Sunday. We know what the favorite subject is about these Philadelphia Eagles, and it's number 11. What did you see from Monday night, that good and bad? We're trying to have an optimistic show today, Dan, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do it in this segment. But what did you see out of number 11 on Monday night?
Okay. Let's start with the good. I think that the decision-making was he valued the football, okay? Like that was good. That's something that has been the conversation for his play this year is like, why you been so reckless with the football? Why are you trying to play hero ball so much? Valued the football. Probably valued the football a little bit too much, to be honest with you guys. But even that interception on 4th and 4, hopefully everyone has realized that was this communication and what the route was going to be with Goddard. And at the end of the day, Goddard probably is incorrect with his decision with the football or with that route. I thought he made some really big plays with his feet. They got him going with his feet a little bit. It's about as much as I can give you with the optimism or the positive.
All right, let me real quick, Dan. You said he valued the football too much. Am I reading that he didn't make throws that maybe he could have made throws? He didn't pull the trigger on some?
Yeah, there's no question about that. And that's probably the big conversation right now, at least with me, with Carson Wentz. I think that, I had this coach once. When I say value the football, I don't ever think you should protect the football. I mean, to be great, the ball's got to go in harm's way at times. It's very situational, and you got to know what the moment in the game and who you're playing against. And there's a lot of process, who you're throwing the ball to, but you protect your kids. You don't want anything ever to happen bad to your kids. But to be a great player and then become a great offense, Rodgers puts the ball in harm's way, and Patrick Mahomes puts the ball in harm's way. They just do it very calculated, and they're okay at times with the ball getting maybe picked off once every 100 throws or something, because they know that it's worth that for those 10 big plays that they're going to create off of that thought process. So you got to value it, though, understanding that you hold everybody's job in the palm of your hand.
All right, go ahead.
Yep, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to ask the stuff about Carson. Now we're hearing the receivers aren't getting much separation. And I know we did see from video since then that there were some guys open that he missed. But our receivers, are they not getting any separation, or is he just not taking the chance that you talked about?
No, there's very little separation. I mean, there's the eyeball that can confirm that. There's also, I'm not a huge stat person, but I know there's statistical data that says they have the second least open group of wide receivers in the NFL. If you go off of the NFL Next Gen stats and how they track that stuff, and ESPN stats as well, how they track that stuff, separation means 1 yard from the defender. How many receivers on a consistent basis, play after play, create 1 yard of separation, so 3 feet of separation from the defenders or any defender. And they're the worst in the NFL at. They also lead the NFL in drops at the receiver group. So there's a lot of not great from the receiving corps, but there's there's probably a handful. Okay, you got zone defense, so to speak, and that guy is open. Why are you not cutting the ball loose? I could say the first play of the game, well thrown ball and kind of pivot stick routes, but the crossing route that's behind him, Carson throws that ball last November. No question in my mind. Carson Wentz throws that ball last November or December. Carson Wentz throws that ball in 2017. No questions asked. And it's not – people need to understand it's not the I don't see it intellect. It's I'm waiting for you to come open because I don't know if you're gonna. There's a very, very, very big difference. When you're feeling it and when you're confident in what your eyes are telling you, you are throwing to places. You are throwing people open. You're throwing to windows, okay? You're not throwing to people. And you can see he's trending towards this place or towards this way of I've got to see you open before I'm going to let the ball go out of my hands. Now, the question is going to be, well, why is he doing that, Dan? First of all, again, it's not because the guy can't. It's because, in my opinion, and people might disagree, he's heard for a long time now, don't run around. Don't get hurt. Don't run around. Don't get hurt. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, Carson, just don't turn the football over. Don't play hero ball. Don't throw interceptions. And then three is, well, as long as you don't give the game away, we've got our best chance to win. So then quarterbacks just start to think of like, okay, I'm just going to take the I'm not going to put the ball in harm's way. I'm not going to be aggressive with the football, and you can't play that way.
Dan, a two-part question, and it has to do with kind of one play in particular. I'm sure you know the play I'm talking about. It was kind of an underthrown Dallas Goedert kind of deep post. And you know, Carson got stuck pretty good, which is probably why he underthrew it. But at the line of scrimmage, it appeared that Jalen Reagor was uncovered. It appeared there was a blown coverage. He kind of raised his hand quickly. So my first part of the question is he locking in too much on one progression or on his first read and not making his progressions? And secondly, is that more on Carson to see Reagor and the blown coverage, or is that more on Reagor to alert Carson that, dude, you got to come to me here?
All right, so there's a little bit to this question. So is he locking – like, yes. All right, especially when you've got a play call and you get to the line of scrimmage and you see the defense and you go, this is the perfect defense for this play call. Like then that a lot of quarterbacks will predetermine that throw. I never think that predetermining a throw is a bad thing. Assuming a throw is a bad thing. You know, like when he gets to the line of scrimmage and he sees that 3-by-0 set, trips to one side and his tight end or his backside receiver or backside tight end nubbed, and he goes, okay, they're going to play that Seattle cover 3 with that backside linebacker is going to carry my crossing receiver, whatever it's a tight end or receiver, crossing receiver vertical. I got the perfect play call to go attack that defense. So then you're going, okay, that ball's going to get thrown unless. That's that predetermining thought process. Now, you can't assume that, oh, well, just because I have the ideal play call, I'm 100% throwing this football. You've got to think, okay, I'm throwing that ball unless Bobby Wagner carries it so well vertical or unless I get pressure or something like that. So that's the first thought process is like, yeah, he since he's had the ideal coverage in that moment, he's taking his shot. I still think that was the right decision when it comes to the read. It's a 2 feet underthrown. It's probably a half of a hitch too late as well, not playing fast enough. Now with the Reagor thing, that's all a philosophical thing with the offense. Some offenses go, no, like, listen, just because you're uncovered, and we've got a great play call, you don't know who's going to pop out of a certain blitz or, where rotation's going to come down to or something like that. So that's a philosophical thing. Now some offenses go, don't care. If you're uncovered, there's a way to communicate it where a receiver will start yelling to the quarterback or hand signal like a color or a word, hey, I'm open, a different way of saying I'm open, right? TD Bank or something, I don't know, like banks that are, whatever the code words could be to communicate that. And sometimes the quarterback sees it, sometimes the receiver sees it. At some point, both should see it, and you could determine, you know what, they're going to rotate coverage or, just, and you could communicate like, hey, receivers, yellow, yellow, yellow. That tells everybody, give me the ball, snap it as quickly as I say hut. And I'll kick it out to you, and we got 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. So it's a philosophical thought process. I don't know if the Eagles have that, but I've been a part of basically every offense that has the ability to do that. More often than not, it's a two-way street between quarterback and or receiver.
Dan, you talked a little bit ago about running around. Don't run around. Maybe a little reluctance to that. But 2 weeks ago, Doug Peterson, and we all know exactly what you're saying, but 2 weeks ago, Doug Peterson comes out and says, I got to get Carson out of the pocket a little bit. He did it once the following week, and then this Monday night, one more time. Are we just so naive here? Are we missing something obvious in that we know the numbers say how good Carson is outside of the pocket?
No, you guys aren't naive. My job to be as honest as I can, or should be, and need to be. I do think that they called at least one attempted outside of the pocket before that, maybe two. And the defense just hindered his ability to get outside. The defensive end or a blitzing linebacker played outside, and so he could not get outside of him, and he has to dump the ball out quickly. But it's still not enough. Like, I went into the game saying, get him outside the pocket at least 10 times. If you watched him play the game, he didn't get in rhythm until, they got into that empty set and played and called that quarterback draw. That really, he is that type of player where, getting him to move around a little bit helps him and it helps your offense. Getting the quarterback out of the pocket has incredible amounts of benefit. One, you can cover up a poor or struggling offensive line. Two, a lot of times they take less hits because they can see the hits coming. Three, they can create more offense after the snap because they're out in the open field. Four, it gives the receivers a little bit of freedom to run their routes with more guidance rather than mandatory rules. And so now it cuts the field in half. There's no question about that. But I just think he's one of those players where he's got a really good feel for space out there and the ability to kind of create, and make guys miss that I would be doing it significantly. I watched Green Bay do it 5 times in a row. Aaron Rodgers is 38.
Yeah.
And so I think they missed the bar on that constantly, yes.
Yeah, so we're talking to Dan Orlovsky on the Comcast Business Hotline. Bounce forward. Dan, heading into Green Bay, 4:25 game this week. Green Bay defense struggles against the run. A lot of us here in Philadelphia have been calling for more play action. And play action, you have to get a run game going for the defense to respect it. It's not rocket science. Do you believe that getting to a running game this weekend against Green Bay is something almost mandatory that Doug Peterson and this offense have to do?
Yeah, it's the only shot to win because Green Bay's got really good secondary players. Their corners can play, and they're better than the Eagles' receivers. And so it can't be a passing game. You will lose that matchup. If you're going to throw the ball 40-plus times, you just don't match up well in that game. I do think that the play-action pass, will be a part of their game plan, but this needs to be I'll say this for every team that plays Green Bay, though. This needs to be a 30-plus running attempt game, and for Miles to get 8 touches the other night and only 6 runs is a sin. So I'd love to sit here and tell you guys, I think the Steelers are going to do this. I think the Steelers are going to – not the Steelers, the Eagles are going to pound the football. But they just haven't. They haven't done a lot of the things that I would assume going into games that would be a part of their game plan. Now, if they don't do that, they can't win the game. If they don't win the line of scrimmage and run the football, they can't win the game. Green Bay's offense is way too good. It's way too diverse. It keeps you on your heels way too much. As good as the Eagles defense played the other night, they need to run the football. That needs to be their mindset this Sunday.
All right, Dan, we always like to finish off with you when we have you every Thursday, and we love having you at 8 o'clock. We like to finish off with a little bit of a personal question. So here's something we've been throwing out today. You have, me, I believe, you have 4 children, right?
I do, yes.
All right, a wife and 4 children. You have 6 people in the house. Do you all have your own
That is super personal. No, we don't. I think we have 2 fingernail clippers in our home.
Sharing happens, right?
Yeah, for sure. The only thing that I would say is a little different in our house is I have, I'll take you guys down a weird little road here.
That's all right.
My big toes, both big-toed nails are mangled because as a quarterback playing under center, those guards and centers will get pushed back at times, and they're 330 pounds getting pushed on by 330 pounds. So, my toes have been stepped on and squashed so much that the nails of my 2 big toes are disgustingly mangled.
So no flip-flops for you in the summer?
No, that's all I wear, but people look at me and disgust. I just don't care, people. We'll be down at the shore, and people are looking at my toes. I'll be like, yep, and then it kind of spurs the story of how did that happen. So that's the only thing. No one touches my I've kind of got those weird scissors, those mini scissors.
Oh yeah.
The toes are so viciously disgusting. My wife's like, why are you talking about this on radio? But,
for those of you having breakfast, we apologize.
Yeah, no. That's the only difference in the house.
All right, Dave, one more. Make me feel a little better here. I work with 2 weirdos that enjoy watching pimple popping videos. Are you one of those people, or are you on the sane side where I am?
No, I'm not a Satan worshiper either. So I just don't. I don't understand how people are like, you know what? I got 5 minutes to kill. Let me go watch this bacteria-filled pus get ripped out of people's skin.
Thank you, Dan.
Sometimes it's better than watching Eagles film.
It'll get better. I promise. It'll get better. They just need – I'll end with this, guys. Carson Wentz is going to be fine. Okay, everyone? He's going to be fine. You can't coach special talent. They just need to get his confidence back. And it will – everyone said Ryan Tannehill sucked. Everyone said Dak Prescott without Amari Cooper sucked. Everyone said that Derek Carr couldn't play. We've seen it before, okay? They'll get his confidence back. They need someone, whether it's Doug or I don't know who, someone that believes in his talent and that will reinstill the confidence in that game. And that's all that's needed, and it will come back.
All right. Finishing up with optimism. That's what I like, Dan. Listen, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next Thursday. Can't wait.
Be well, guys.
All right. Take care, buddy.